This job is a gift to me. I love working in this field where I can have an impact in policy, statewide impact in changing the lives of children.
I didn't have a voice growing up. Like, for me, I couldn't speak, I couldn't say what I wanted to do.
We realized that we all needed to work together so that we could change the system in the state of Florida.
Florida's Children First focuses on children that are in need, at risk, and in care. Those children need our voice.
When I was in care, I always wondered if someone was out there fighting for me. And once I found out that there was someone advocating for me at the time, it meant a lot to me.
There's so much you don't know unless you speak to the kids. Their view, their aspect, their perspective of what life is like in care is what is needed to be able to make the effective, positive changes. But we do it in so many different ways. Some of it's public information, some of it's media advocacy, some of it is working with the legislature to try to change laws.
We've been very, very successful in education issues. Before, when kids were taken into foster care, not only would children be losing their parents and their family, but they would be losing their teachers and their friends. And so we passed statewide legislation that requires school districts to transport kids to keep them in their home schools where they were before they were in foster care, if it is at all possible. We passed legislation that requires school boards to assess the needs of disabled foster children, children needing special education, so that they would have appropriate not only case plans in their juvenile court proceedings, but education plans, individual education plans that meet their needs. Over the years, we have been right at the forefront of filling the potholes in the Road to Independence Act, trying to make sure that all children have an opportunity to move on and advance their educations. We fought hard to move the disabled kids off of the waiting list with the agencies for persons with disabilities. They voluntarily agreed to place foster kids into the med waiver slots and get these kids services. But I could go on and on.
Educating the public, that's another way to advocate. We do a lot of publications and we do trainings all over the state. They're free trainings. We've trained over 1,000 people last year.
To be able to communicate the needs of these children through their very own voices is maybe one of the most effective things we have done as an advocacy organization.
Florida You Shine, and SHINE stands for Striving High for Independence and Empowerment.
That one thing that helps me, keep going and want to help others and especially those that were in my same shoes makes me very proud.
I watch Florida youth shine as individuals become empowered, learn about themselves, learn how important each individual one is because their voice matters.
We want to be able to be the megaphone for these kids' voices, be able to let our legislators, to let our government understand that these are not throwaway children. The children in foster care are just as important as your children and my children because they are human beings. They deserve to live rich and full lives. And because they were impacted by neglect or abuse does not mean that they cannot be just as successful, just as important, just as happy, and have just as enriching lives as all of us in the community do.
Any support is exactly what our kids need. If it's mentoring, if it's financial assistance to travel, to support the program.
Because your funds investing in us allows us to invest in all the kids in the state of Florida.
When you can affect change that will impact not only the children today that are in the system, but in the years to come, that's very rewarding.
With your support, we can make a difference in the lives of these children.